Hey everyone, what do we got? Let me hit that mic. Nope, we're good. We are good. Hey, yesterday was a great job. I just got to say from you guys, um, asking some actual good questions. It wasn't such an echo yesterday, so props, props. Nice job. I think that will um, get cut up, and we'll probably do a whole bunch of small little clippets of yesterday's talk and then put that on YouTube Shorts for you guys because there was some good questions. We were just in it, I guess, and in it by you guys. I was just trying to do the best I can, but you guys really came with it. And so let's see if we can't do the same thing today with a little twist with what supplementation and vitamins could actually help us as we are doing this journey. And again, I think it's nice that you guys want to ask me, but I think take the opportunity today to ask John these questions, tough questions. You don't need to make it easy, get some tough questions in there. If you're dealing with something, ask him, because the cool thing about the conversation from you guys around the world and us is that if there's something you're dealing with and we don't know the answer, I would like to go out and see if I can't figure out what is the best thing for you and see if there isn't something I can help you with. And John's the same, if not 5 times more than I when it comes to this stuff in the research. So yeah, make sure that you guys do it. Thank you, Ross. Take advantage of this today. Ask your questions. Jeff is online. Hello. And let's get rocking and rolling on this. All right. Keep it up like you did yesterday. Great day. Let's keep it. Oh, whoa. All right now. All right. Little UW. I love it, man. I do. I'm assuming that you are also a UW boy. I'm a fan. Mom and dad both UWers. And one of my brothers out of 10, and the other one was Wazoo. I am sorry about that. I don't know why. Johnny is here. Let's rock and roll. Let's bring the stud in.
What's up, Mike?
What up, Playboy?
How you doing, brother?
I am good. Thanks for hanging out today.
Of course, always a pleasure.
I'm gonna start off with. I would like to know what's going on this week over at Titan Medical, Kirkland Cougars. Oh man, sorry about that. What's going on over at Titan Medical for the treatment of the week, the therapy of the week?
Sure. Therapy of the week. So we've got, I guess it's like a two-way streak here. Therapy of the week is Nectar of the Gods this week. So that's where you get the $25 off. Actually, I think we're offering $50 off of Nectar of the Gods. So instead of $275, you get it for $225, and it'd be 30 injections. And Nectar of the Gods, people ask me, so what's the difference with Nectar of the Gods and, like, let's say Hercules Potion, right? And that one it's a very similar mix. So it takes out two components that are in Hercules Potion, ornithine and L-citrulline, and we replaced it with glutathione. So you have arginine, glutamine, glutathione, NAC, lysine, proline, taurine, L-carnitine. So it has a pretty similar mix. So what is it good for? It's good for recovery with glutamine. Arginine is going to help create that blood flow. And then you have really great immunity properties in here. One with glutathione, super antioxidant, great daily dose. And at that point, the other thing is lysine. So lysine is going to help build the immune system even more. And then you have NAC, which is great for liver function. So glutathione is also great for liver function. So if you have a fatty liver, or if you're having issues with the liver or anything like that, this can give you some liver support as well, along with what you're doing. Then you have proline for collagen, taurine, like we talked about before, for cramping and brain function. And then you have L-carnitine for muscle building, nervous system, blood flow, and a number of other things. So it's a really, really great mixture that you can utilize. And if you wanted glutathione, but you wanted some of the other products too as well, like Hercules, you kind of get the best of both worlds. It's a smaller dosage of glutathione daily than you would take the 200 milligrams, but you get a lot of other bang for the buck in there that's going to work synergistically together to give you an all-around better effect, make you feel better, right? Help build the immune system, more energy, blood flow, like I said, recovery in the whole nine. So you get a lot of out of Nectar of the Gods. The other thing, so we've launched another new product. Now, same product, it's an ECA Stack Plus, but we're calling this the Hermes version. And basically, we've upped the caffeine to 300 milligrams, and we've upped the ephedrine to 30 milligrams. So we know that daily dose is 400 milligrams. So this would be good.
The name again?
Huh? Hermes.
Hermes,
So
the
Hermes was
Greek god?
Hermes.
Wasn't he a Greek god?
Yep, he was a Greek god of messaging. So he had wings on his feet.
Okay.
So if you're looking to fly like Hermes, this is the therapy for you. It's going to be great for energy. One, you're going to get great energy from this. Great fat burning properties, thermogenesis with this too as well. Plus also enhanced mental clarity. So at that point, you'd be more in tune, more laser focused, paying attention a lot more, not dozing off, and you're burning fat while you're doing it. And this is great for workouts too as well. So I take one
for a second.
Sure.
On the Hermes, can you give me the breakdown again?
Yep. 30 milligrams of ephedrine, HCl, real ephedrine, not ephedrine bark or extract or any of these things the supplement companies are trying to push out over the counter. This is a prescription drug. You can only get ephedrine by prescription because of the ban before. So That's one. 2, caffeine. So we've raised the caffeine from 200 milligrams to 300 milligrams in this dose.
Okay.
Right. And then you have 30 milligrams of aspirin, and that's just for blood flow, no heart palpitations. That's
why only 30? What is a baby aspirin?
Baby aspirin is 81 milligrams.
Okay. And this is 30.
This is 30.
Okay.
So, basically at that point, if they did take 2 pills, they'd still be under the daily dose of the small dose. And that's why we did it. You don't need a whole bunch of aspirin in this to make it more effective. The aspirin is helping literally blood flow, heart palpitations. Some people are allergic to aspirin. So if you're allergic to aspirin, we can make this without aspirin too as well.
Wow.
Any of these combinations. So, we have to look at that and say, listen, do you have any allergies or anything? Like people know right away, like, hey, listen, I cannot have aspirin. So at that point, we cut the aspirin out of the dose. But for everybody else, 30 milligrams.
Before you continue on this, I want to stay on this one just for a second to catch these guys up, because you already have something that is at Titan Medical. And I know that for me, this makes me excited.
Yes.
Because I can handle caffeine. I can handle stimulants like this.
Yep.
Mona cannot, and I know a lot of people that cannot handle it. But there is now, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, 3 different levels of this similar.
Yeah.
Right.
4 actually now. This will make 4. Yeah. So we have our low dose, which is our pink, and that has it has basically 100 milligrams of caffeine. So it's very, very low. It has, 12.5 milligrams of ephedrine, which is half the dose of the high. And then it has 30 milligrams of aspirin. These all have 1,000 micrograms of B12 and 1,000 micrograms of chromium too, as well. And what these do is these complement the energy side and boost the metabolism side. So, when you go with the high dose, which is the blue and white pill, that's 25 milligrams of ephedrine, 200 milligrams of caffeine, 30 milligrams of aspirin, 1,000 micrograms of B12, and 1,000 micrograms of chromium. After that, you go up to the red bombs. The red bombs, 25 milligrams. It's 25 milligrams of ephedrine, and then it's 225 milligrams of caffeine. This also has 5 milligrams of yohimbine in the back end of it. So, and then you have the aspirin, the B12, and the chromium.
And that was level 3. This is level 4.
Yeah, and then this will be level 4. I say like maybe Hermes and the red bombs are on the same level to a certain degree, because on the Hermes you're getting more ephedrine and you're getting more caffeine, but you're not getting the yohimbine that's in the red bomb. And the yohimbine backs it, and as you know, can help stimulation too as well. It can be an aphrodisiac too as well if you don't take too much. And at that point, it works very, very well. So, we have something for everybody, and we can have some different mixtures in there. I could see the Hermes adding the yohimbine in the forefront in the future too as well, because I'll be taking it. So I'm going to add that in there and just see how I feel off it. Is it too much? Is it okay for somebody like us? And just see where we go there. But I think that would be, the next level for somebody. But, we always like somebody to try the pink one or the blue and white one, because, if you take too much at one time, like you take too high of a dose for you, you're going to be overstimulated, and that's not a good feeling for anybody, right? You can get heart palpitations, anxiety, cold sweats, you don't feel good, nausea, like all these different things. So we do not want people to be overstimulated. We want to get the good dose for them, and everybody's different, right? So,
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. It just depends on who you are and what your tolerance is to stimulants. So, and a lot of people know. But what I can say too is different is because this is something that a lot of people do. A lot of people have went to these big box stores and got over the counter fat burners, thermogenesis fat burning, and these things have caused a number of different problems for people health wise. And even Charisse, before we started, she was taking these things. She had to go to the hospital. I mean, the whole nine, because it was that bad of heart palpitations and stuff like that. So this is not that. You won't have to worry about that. This will be good, clean energy without you bouncing off the walls. And like a ping pong ball. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. And you're not going to get nauseous. You're not going to want to have to go to the bathroom. And when you get to the gym, that's the other thing with pre-workouts. Like you get nausea or you possibly get stomach issues where you have to go to the bathroom, and nobody wants to go to their gym bathroom. I promise you.
Okay. So yeah, just for everybody that's here again, I've spoken of this because I was on my mission to be in incredible shape, and I can live in that ugliness of not feeling good, knowing that is good, because the calories are low and I'm exercising, and it just goes with it. And then it wasn't even you; it was Cherie. He just goes, "Hey, got something for you." Sent it out, and man, what a change that did to my training, to my day, and my relationship. Yeah. It was a threefold. And if you guys don't understand that, it's I think a lot of you will. When you give those workouts everything, you really do dip. And that means work suffers a little bit. Maybe the relationship suffers a little bit when you're so, as we call it here, a full-time bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what do you do? You go train, then you lay on the couch the rest of the day and you eat your meals, and then you go back the next day. Well, I can't live that lifestyle.
Right.
And so, yeah, it changed all three aspects of me. It didn't just help my workout. It helped my clarity in the mind. It helped my business. It helped my relationships, and it kept me focused throughout the whole day. And it removed some other things. So don't, that's a big one. And I think Johnny hit it out of the park. Don't get overstimulated,
Right.
Right. Don't be riding. And if I'm correct, Jeff, you were an energy drink bang kind of guy for a year or so.
I'd call it a heavy user.
A heavy user.
Yeah, bang energy. I was doing like 4 a day, and those are 300 a pop.
So, and after a while, it wasn't doing anything for him.
Right.
It was actually, it was drinking a bang was more effective than a melatonin.
Wow. That's a study we should talk about in the future, about how if you do so much, it goes the other way.
Of course.
And again, the receptors, but they taste good. The receptors are an amazing thing. Amazing thing, man. But they're there to protect you.
Right.
Feed you enough. So we got those two new Hermes.
I mean, even when you start breaking down cost effectiveness, how much does a bang cost you? How much does a Red Bull cost you?
5 bangs a day.
How much does it cost you for one?
What's a bang?
Like $4.
$4.
Yeah.
You can get ECA from anywhere from $2 to $4 a pop. So that's one clean energy, no garbage in it, no crash, all good to go. I mean, that's why I really break down, the cost effectiveness for people, because even people that go to Starbucks, they go for their Frappuccino, they go for this, they're paying $18 to $20 for a drink. Man,
that's
man,
yeah.
I'm
So
telling
that's
you.
you went to the gas station, you'd pick up a bang, one of the pills over the counter, a little something for the little misses, a little rhino, blue rhino. When Titan Medical has something much better than that.
That's right, Superman's.
You guys talk about you know everything that's in it. So somebody's asking this. What are your thoughts on this? Best research sources.
We don't do research, man. We do pharmaceutical human grade. There is no research sources. We're not research chemicals. So that's the other thing, you know, at that point, I know that business is thriving on the back end, but they're doing a disservice to people that are out there. You know, a lot of this stuff comes from China or India and it's already pre-made per se. So people are just getting it and then shipping it out to people. So I don't mess with research sources or research chemicals. I want something that's for human consumption. That's been tested and lab tested, and I know it's going to be okay because you guys are injecting this stuff in your body, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, when you're younger, I guess you don't really, nothing's going to happen to me, and you think like that. But as you get older, man, you're like, all right, well, what am I? You really start looking at things. Yeah. Even alcohol to me these days, like I'm almost to the point where I don't even want to drink no more. I physically I just got to make myself drink if I want to have a drink with somebody and be social because I really don't crave it no more. Before when I was younger, all the time, right? But now it's a little bit different. So I think that, you know, as you get older, you start realizing some of these things and priorities start changing, right? And at that point, you want to mitigate risk in all situations. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I'd rather mitigate that and spend a little bit more money. Even if I was a patient or if I was a person that was out there on the back end, I would look for a legitimate source to try to get these things. If there's not a legitimate source to get these things, I'd probably stay away from it, guys. I'm just be honest with you, because everybody out there knows on some of these different things, you can't get a hold of them legally. So what does that mean for something that's illegal? Well, they could half dose it and just make a lot more off the product like that, right? Or they don't.
Now you're talking like this reminds me of the 80s and 90s.
It's crazy.
You know, everybody just hey, what's he on? What's he doing? Hey, jump on it, go. Just so young and naive and that nothing will hurt you. So I think that's great. And I don't know why my mind went to this, but when you were saying about that, the young and you think nothing's going to hurt you, if somebody that is young, we've talked about this, if your body, again, and he owns the company, guys, if your body doesn't need testosterone, you know, if it doesn't need it, they don't prescribe it, you know. And so if there's something that you guys are here and you just go, I just want to get jacked, there's other ways, and Titan Medical has things to help you get muscular and help you get that energy and get you stronger. So go down that road first. If there's nothing I can say to change your mind about going a different route as of right now, but go down and see what else they have. All these things, like he's talking about something that was huge in the 80s and 90s. This whole ephedrine, aspirin, caffeine was a way to that was like our number one fat burner back in the 80s and 90s. That was it until they banned ephedra. Right. And so this is something I think that you guys got to really get in here and talk to them and your medical provider, because I'm going to be calling to get my Hermes after this. But this is just something he said that makes me think that you guys, I know that you're young, and when I mean young, anything younger than me is young. Just check out what else they have, give it some months, you know, and then if that doesn't change your mind, then you decide what you want to do and go down the road. But if the blood work is good, stay healthy for the long road. If it's not good, then there's no debate no more. And this is another one. If you're against, and I have a lot of these guys in their mid-30s that are against it, but they have low testosterone. And I'm like, well, I'm sending them reports on all the damage. Yes. Low testosterone can cause. What is this moral belief of I'm not doing that? Well, all you're doing is going back to a level playing field so you can stay healthy. So this isn't, you're not competing. Stop that. You're not competing for Mr. Olympia. So it's no moral, hey, high ground. Right. You're unhealthy. Take care of yourself.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's so true too. And it's like, People always, I guess I was always, that's always the stereotype. Even when I first got into this business was, hey, and at that point, like I said, bigger was better for me. So I was a lot bigger back then. And at that point, that's not what it's all about. And those people, majority of those people would never have the genetics to even get to a Mr. Olympia type form. And the other part of it is a lot of these guys are not doing any of the work they need to do. They're not training. They're not eating correctly. What do you think you're going to get out of it? Even if you took all the juice in the world, if you took 1,000 milligrams of testosterone a week, it doesn't mean you're going to get bigger. It doesn't mean it's going to put muscle on you. So you actually have to work to get these things. Unless you put in the work, you're never going to get them. And just because you put in the work doesn't mean you're going to get them either.
Still doesn't mean you're going to get it.
There's no guarantee on something like this. So, what we want to preach is improving quality of life, right? And that's you feeling good every day, waking up with energy, being able to do your job, being able to be on point in your mind, and being able to have a good relationship with your partner, hopefully. And living a good life, right? And that's sleeping better, that's exercising, that's doing all these things. Like that's really what it's about. So anybody that ever comes to me, I automatically do that. And that's why over the years, obviously my priorities have changed and things that I think about changed. And one that, listen, bigger is not always better. Quality over quantity is what I've learned. And that's number one for me. So if I can live, at a decent size, I don't have to be the biggest, but at that point, like I'm gonna have one of the best packages because I'll just keep defining my package. And that's really what it is to be a bodybuilder, I guess. And you're defining yourself and you're building your own body. It doesn't mean I'm going to get on stage and do a competition either. But I mean, I wouldn't even call myself a bodybuilder at that point. Like, I'm just a health enthusiast and a biohacker at heart.
Just so you guys know, just standing next to him at some place or restaurant, the guy's jacked. And he's walking around the Olympia and he's more jacked than most of the competitors out there. So, yeah, that's what you get. I'm excited because I was told the other day that we are setting up to be at the Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
And we're locking it in. And so I'm excited that we get to venture out there and meet everybody in person.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a time. So we got a 20 by 30 area this time. Usually we got a 20 by 20. So we've extended that by 10 feet. We're going to try to put a stage out there. I got to go over the stage planning like this week or next week. I've got Tampa Pro coming up here in a couple days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday for that. But what I'm going to try to do is like maybe Monday or Tuesday next week, get the stage layout done. Because that's all I really have to do. Like everything else I pretty much have all set. I got to buy a couple plane tickets for a couple people, set some rooms up, and then get ready to ship the things that we need shipped from here out there, which I've already done before to an Olympia, thank God. So I kind of know what it entails. T-shirts, all kinds of crazy, cool new Titan gears coming along with us too as well. So we're going to be doing a ton of giveaways. We're going to have a ton of shirts, ton of bags, like all kinds of different Titan gear, like the sleeveless hoodies that I wear. Like, so it's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're going to be there. So, I mean, it's going to be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. 60th year anniversary. So hopefully this will be a bigger and badder one than ever before. We'll see, a new location.
Mona wanted to come up with something like a raffle or something where if you show up at the Olympia and you come to the Titan booth and you come in there and say hello to everybody and all that, we'll probably do a raffle to where on Sunday, what I'll do is take the winners and go to a gym and do a workout with them.
I love that.
That's a special kind of giveaway. If you're at the Olympia and you come by the booth and say hello to us, and post us up on the page and stuff, I'll be taking that in there. And mine is free on Sunday, so I'll make sure you guys get in there, you're in the gym, and we'll talk training, nutrition, one-on-one. And but you got to show up at the Olympia. You got to show up at the Titan booth and get some photos with the crew.
That's right. Oh, that'd be really cool. I mean, that's awesome. That's definitely awesome. I think that's a great idea. I think people are going to be super psyched about that. Super psyched. So yeah, man. So Olympia's coming out. It's going to be crazy.
You're a Burger King. Say hi to Johnny.
What's up, Titan? How you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Hello. I like your crown.
Oh my gosh.
Little Prince.
He's fun. That
I
boy
know.
is fun, man. We
I
we
know.
we got to go to Tennessee this last week, and with some actually Titan crew members that have worked with the company and are taking care of their health. And these guys are, I just, they look incredible. And they are also in their late 40s, early 50s, and models, elite athletes, and all this stuff. And it's great to see how their protocol is going over at Titan.
Absolutely.
And how they're like elongating their careers, not just their life, but
Nice.
their careers. And so
Yes.
it's, I guess it's that old kind of advertising. If you're making money and you're not spending on advertising or something, then it kind of goes backwards. But if you spend a certain amount to take care of the company, it keeps growing. And
Right.
that's, to me, like the James Harris approach is, are they working out? Are they on a good protocol? Are they doing their blood work? And these guys do their blood works every 3 months.
Yep.
Are they healthy? Are they doing their stuff? And what medications are they doing over at Titan Medical that helps them get through the workouts, their brains, and everything? Because these people are also, a couple of them, one is a young 30-year-old who is on tour. And so it's a band. And they
Wow.
just got back from Europe doing a whole tour. He's back
Nice.
here. They start filming a movie.
Nice.
But man, the focus on such a youngster, to me,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
30-year-old, 40-year-old's young to me, but
Yeah.
to see that and go, wow, he's taking care of his health at that age, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, well, you look healthy.
Yeah.
His numbers weren't great,
Right.
and they're,
Makes sense.
it's. I know you say it makes sense, but I don't think it makes sense to society.
I think a lot of people it doesn't make sense to, and a lot of people think in 20s and 30s, I'm okay, I'm healthy, it is what it is, and this is how I am. But it's not true, you know, and that's the thing. And people just need, you know, I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I'm like, you know, when I started Titan, and it's still this, it's about educating people and letting them really understand what we do and how we can really help them and how they can help themselves. That's the biggest thing. And I think that now more than ever, somebody can take control of their health. They can literally take control of their health. They can get all the reports. They can get everything together. They can have people like us help them. So, I mean, I think it takes their action to be able to want to do it too. And to realize that, listen, everything isn't okay. Like if you have to drink energy drinks every single day, everybody has normalized that. That's not normal, guys. It's just not normal. It's not. And it's
Think
going to set
about
you up
that.
for failure.
That's so big.
You know,
It's so true.
And a lot of people, they get stuck in bad routines. They start bad routines and they get stuck in them. And I've done it myself. Where you know, and me, I don't cheat, but like I would order like the pink refresher lemonade refresher from Starbucks, and it would just in my mind ingrain like, all right, in the morning I order my eggs, I order this, order my eggs, order this. I'm like, I don't need to be drinking this every day. I shouldn't be drinking this at all. So I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna be gone. You have to recognize those traits, but some people get stuck in those specific routines, and then you know they're setting themselves up for failure and just go down that downward spiral, and they don't realize it. So I think people need to realize these different things, or if there is something wrong, you know, try to see what's going on to fix it. Don't just mask the problem. You know, that's
Let's
another
talk
issue.
about fixing. Let's talk about fixing. If you could, I got a Titan crew member and also a Titan medical crew. He's over there, and one thing that he was telling me about is that he's got some joint issues, some elbows, some stuff like that. He's done some stuff. I'll let him explain a little bit more in depth on his body and how he's functioning. But I kind of wanted him to see if we could. That's all right with you. Is you talk to him today and kind of hear what he has to say. And I think for everybody else that's watching, I think the great thing here is that you understand that people get owies, people get little injuries, but there are things that you can do to help take care of that. His name is Jeremy Davis. Jeffrey, you want to bring him in? Hey there, kiddo.
Hey.
Hey,
What is-
thanks for hanging in here.
Oh, sure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
What's up, John?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome to have you on here.
like Mike said, I got started on a bunch of different protocols. I think like in December,
Okay.
and man, it's been absolutely incredible. I work out with my nutty 19-year-old son that Mike's actually been training since he was like 8.
Oh, wow.
The kid's a freaking animal. And as I reach my mid 40s, I'm having a tough time sort of facing the fact that he's overtaking me in quite a few of the weightlifting departments. So I'm always trying to keep up with him. But that being said, ever since I've been doing the Titan thing, man, I got him in the endurance department. I mean, we'll hit our 5 sets and he's toast, like ready to like get more water and go home. And I'm like, man, I could do it all over again.
Right.
So all that being said,
It wasn't like that, right? It wasn't like that before December. It's to that level.
No. It's been pretty. That's probably been my biggest like notable change. It's just like endurance and energy is really almost indescribably different. I didn't notice sort of how lethargic and how like floored I would get after workouts. I just thought that's what happens. You know, little by little you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like going for chiropractic help for the first time, and then you realize what you feel are supposed to feel like. So yeah, with the test and everything, it's been crazy to sort of feel what you're supposed to feel like. And you know, I'm not down and out kind of like I used to be. But I think with that has come like really pushing the body a little bit more, because I'm not tapping out as quickly as I used to. I'm able to hit a couple more heavier sets instead of just hitting one pyramid and then backing it down. I maybe spend a little longer, heavier maybe than I used to. And with that, I've definitely been, for about 3 months now, had pretty tremendous like bicep tendon pain. And I've been working around it. I've been putting like topical, like CBD, THC, stuff I get at like farmer's market on it. Me and Mike were talking this morning about talking to you about trying to figure out some type of Titan protocol that might help with sort of inflammation, aches and pains and stuff like that.
Sure. I mean, you know, right now, I mean, you still got, you know, like BPC's component or TB500, and that'd probably be the best for inflammation, even spot injecting towards the area. As far as that goes, because I mean, you don't have a tear in it or anything like that. Like you don't feel like it's torn. It's just what's sore. Does it get better after a couple of days laying off of it, or I mean, is it still pretty sore?
It's pretty consistent, like little things like opening a car door, like kind of like a reverse motion like this. Like I was at the airport yesterday, like grabbing my bag off the whatever it is, and I was like it's a notable soreness, but again, it's been for months and it's stayed the same. But I haven't. I just haven't done any curls. I'm able to kind of do everything else and not feel it kind of flare up. It's very specifically kind of like a lifting, curling motion that sets it off.
You have massage and everything like that. You've tried to use a gun on it. Like these are just basic things that I would say, you know, soak Epsom salt, all that. But it, like, as far as what we can help out with, that's what I would recommend. Something like that. Even glutathione would help with inflammation. But if you really want the healing, you know, properties, those would probably be the two that I would go with. You know, after that, you could think about, you know, maybe raising IGF-1 levels for recovery purposes. That would help, you know, as far as that goes. But, you know, I think if it feels injured and you're not able to do curls, I would probably go with like maybe a healing peptide just to see, listen, is this getting the inflammation out? Because, for example, right, so I need a total shoulder replacement. I'm bone on bone. I have arthritis all throughout my right shoulder. I can still lift, thank God. You know, I'm still benching 275 or 12, going up on my tiers. But, you know, I still feel in the morning when I wake up, like it hurts. I ain't gonna lie. It definitely hurts. So when I go and I do my first injections of the day, because that's the first thing I do, I get out of bed, I let dogs out, and I do my injections. Some of the first injections I do are BPC and TB500. I do them together. And what I do is I inject it right in my shoulder. instantly, I would say probably about 20 to 30 seconds later, inflammation starts decreasing. Like I can start feeling my shoulder come back to me a little bit. I can get a little bit more movement without it being so stiff. And it helps me out through my lifts. So, that's the only thing that's been getting me by per se. Like I haven't even had cortisone in like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that, because I got hyaluronic acid injected into my shoulder, and it's supposed to, go where the cartilage used to be, but that hasn't done anything for me. And I couldn't take, a cortisone shot 6 weeks after this. So I'm getting ready for that. But, that's the only thing that's helped me, and it's helped a lot of other people. So, I mean, that's kind of what I would say, from our perspective, that would definitely help.
Cool. I'll check that out. And you said it's it's a localized injection. So like, it's the tendon area kind of right in here. So I'd just find an area close by.
So what you would do is so if you like show down your arm right here per se, right? So if you're like, hey, it's like right in the middle of my bicep here. Well, don't inject right in the middle, like where the pain's at, but you can inject like over here or over here, or even a little bit lower per se. And then the next thing is, well, how am I going to inject myself doing that? Right. Because I got my arm and then I have the injection needle, and I probably need to go subcutaneous with this. So one trick that another patient brought up to me a while ago and was great, was ingenious, is you get like those little like chip clips. They're real small. You sterilize it, you pinch the skin, and then it'll inject subcutaneous in that area. So now all you have to do is just place the needle in there. It's very simple, very easy to do.
That's smart.
It was too. And it's just funny because, man, I haven't thought of it for this whole time. And like some guy brings it up like a year ago. I'm like, that's ingenious. I tried it out myself. I'm like, this is great. So and it's true, because he was having elbow pain. So he had golf elbow. So he's like, how do I inject right here with pinching this and injecting with my right arm? So that's what he came up with. And I was like, man, that's ingenious. So I've used it. I've had a lot of other patients use it. And for those bad areas or hard to get areas, that's the way to do it for sure.
That's your next Titan Medical accessory. So you got the water bottles, the stuff. You need the Titan clip,
Pinch clip. You know what? I should make that, honestly. It wouldn't be very expensive at all. And I think a lot of people would get a lot of great use out of it for subcutaneous injections.
Nice.
For sure.
Well, hey,
awesome.
I really appreciate the insight. I'm going to definitely look into that. And thanks for everything, guys.
For sure. Absolutely,
Thanks,
man.
Jeremy.
I'd love to hear about the journey, man. Hope you get healed.
Thank you so much. Later.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Of course.
So it's again, I love the fact that the glutathione, which you wouldn't think, but it brings down the inflammation.
Yes.
And so that's such another one of those things that's a nice little added touch to this. And then because I know everybody talks about if they have some kind of owie or injury or something, that's the BPC and the TB, but you also went to something I think that's brilliant, is to the IGF, just raise that.
Yep.
So again, recovery
going to improve.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you start thinking about healing, you think about all the different process. How can I heal? Is it going to be locally? Is it going to be systemically throughout the body? And just as time goes on. So, just every injury is, I guess, different. And listen, I'm not the expert on every single injury, guys. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you every single injury. But what I can tell you is a lot of the most common injuries a lot of our patients have had throughout the years, and they've used these things, and they've got some great results and healed in a lot of different ways. So, for me, seeing is believing for myself. And, having other people go through some of these different treatments and what they've accomplished has just been awesome. Even Rod. So so Rodney had he had to get the back of his nut all the way down and cut, right?
Yeah.
He's healed in half the time the doctors told him he was going to heal with this. And the doctors were like, what the hell are you doing? Like, we know you're a specimen, because he's a specimen, right? I mean, guys who are 50 years old and just fucking jacked at 32-inch waist, abs, the whole nine. So they're like, but this just isn't common, especially at your age. So it's just really cool to see some of that. Hey, listen, I mean, we don't have it it could be anecdotal, I guess, but I mean, he used it, he healed faster. I mean, he feels a lot better, so at that point, it's a win for us. For sure.
Yeah. The surgery he had and just that first week. I'm not quite sure what they did to his vertebrae, right?
It's like a fusion vertebrae.
Yeah. And so good for him. Good for him, because I've known him since he was saying we first met like in 1990, 91, 92 at one of his shows. So I'm glad to see he's healing like that.
Me too.
Again, anybody that's watching, he had neck surgery. Went through the back and everything, and extreme, not just a little.
No,
Arthur, it wasn't.
And that's what I thought too. Like I see like BioSpine and all that, so I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be like, because that's how big their incisions are. His incision is like this long. It's
they opened them up.
Like, oh, like holy shit, man! Like, just mean. It was definitely mean looking for sure.
It's cool that there's that kind of hope. Just with the peptides and helping you in that sense. And then also making sure that your body's just functioning again like that youngster, And I always say that, are you still in charge of the ship? Are you still driving it? Are you eating and you can control your diet to where your body changes? Is all these things kind of in place? And one of the biggest things is injuries that stop people. It's like, it's that pain. It's like, oh no, it hurts to train. And what I love that you're still doing too is you're forcing blood into that location.
Yep.
It's not enough to just do the shots. You still got to force blood in. You still got to get massages. You got to do the therapy. You got to do that stuff.
Right.
But why not? Why wouldn't you do it? You got the one.
Yeah. I mean, plus you're ultimately taking care of yourself too, right? I mean, you want to live longer. You take care of yourself. You want anything to survive longer than it's supposed to, you take care of it. I mean, if you don't take care of it, it gets run down and you got to trash it. And you only got one body and hopefully one soul. And at that point, you can't just trash your body. You can trash it, but then you got to live in it. And I guess you could change it over time, but you can run it down to the nitty gritty and not be so well off.
Don't run it down. Don't run it down. I know that we are, how many weeks out are we?
From what, Olympia?
The Olympia is, geez.
So
I get to do some fun traveling before the Olympia. So we got
1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks.
Perfect time to do the good training. And so what I was saying is right now we just got into, I think it is week 3, week 4 now of Total Recall. And so people are kind of now in that first stage of like, okay, that was 4 weeks of very, very intense training.
Yep.
What can help me make this next step? And I'm explaining to these guys, I think Hercules Potion right now, you dropped one on us at the very beginning of this talk. If you're starting to feel like you need a couple days off, this is that 12 weeks that I'm not going to give you that time off.
Right.
That time off is in the off season. You take it. But now that we're in training, this is your Olympia. This is you going 100%.
Right.
So the Hermes, like you said, would be an option, or one of the 5.
Yeah. It's 4 different ECAs.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the 4 different for energy through the day and clarity.
Yep.
And then the Hercules Potion and the EAAs, both to help for recovery, a better workout, and making sure that you're getting your amino acids so you're not losing that muscle.
That crazy pump that holds too. You will be more vascular than you. If you're vascular, you'll be even more vascular. And you don't need to take any of the over-the-counter garbage as far as a pre-workout. If you have an ECA and you have these other injectables, there's going to be nothing better. So at that point, you're going to be good. Like even for me, like I take one of those ECAs in the morning and I'm good for the whole day. Even if I trained at night, I'd be fine. So at that point, like
so you do take them all. You don't go back home and take the shots an hour before. You get it in
all
there.
My bug out bag. If I got to, I inject in my car. Like, so yeah, I've done this for a long time, guys. So at that point, like, for me, like in the morning, now I'm trying to train in the morning. So I'm trying to get out and do it before I get to the office, do all that. So it's getting out of the way. So I'm loaded up, as my steak's cooking 5 minutes in the microwave, I load it up and I inject, as far as that goes. But if I'm on the road, let's say I'm here at the office and I didn't go work out, and I need to go work out after my live at, let's say, 6:00, I got everything in my bag where I'm ready to go. Like I'll pull my needles right here in the office and check myself, and then head to the gym and be ready to rock and roll. I mean, so, you know, you can do it 30 to 45 minutes before any strenuous activity. I told you I've got patients that at that point they're taking it before sexual encounters because they want the girl to think how hard he is in his chest and like all these crazy things. So, you know, you can utilize it for any strenuous activity, anything that you do, whether it's marathon, racing, rock climbing, you know, your bodybuilding, you got a photo shoot coming up and you want to make sure everything looks big, tight, nice, or even girls' calves or plump in the rump, if they want to say, because that was the other thing. It was just funny that, so the other day I'm sitting in Lifetime and in the gym, right? And I'm sitting there in the cafe with Sharice and stuff like that. I look over, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I know who this person is next to me. And it's this girl. And I'm like, Sharice, I'm like, do you recognize who this is? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that's Vita Guerrera. I don't know if you know who Vita Guerrera is. So Vita Guerrera is one of the original vixens, video vixens for her booty. That was her. And she's like, you know, she's 50 now, but she's still got a great following, the whole night. She's from LA.
Yeah, I do know.
Jimmy Tampa.
Yeah.
So I seen her in Lifetime. Oh my God. I'm like, you know, because she's been with Titan too. So I know her really well. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, you gotta come out of the office now. Shit, we gotta get some blood work. But you know, there's things like that where, you know, you have, you know, some of the older ladies and stuff like that too, or they want to just get all straight. And she's one of them. So if you want to last longer, you want to age gracefully, then Titan Medical Center is your answer for sure. 100%, no matter what you are, what you've done in the past.
And you're at that stage. And again, like I said earlier, also just make sure that you youngsters get your blood work done so you know that you're doing healthy and you're good and everything is rocking and rolling. So again, Hermes for energy, the Hercules potion, again, great. Like Johnny says, the pump and everything, because we're going into these next 4 weeks of training at Total Recall. And again, one that I recommend at night is the Tesamorelin.
Yes.
Is that something that they can still do?
Yes.
That
that's the one's FDA approved, so that will never go away ever.
So this is really big because most people are trying to cut up on this program and they're really trying to do this. And so this is a huge bump. Can you kind of go over again? Just that's new here.
And this was kind of what I was going at with the gentleman that you brought on earlier, raising IGF-1 levels, right, with tesamorelin and targeting visceral belly fat, adipose tissue. So tesamorelin is a FDA-approved GHRH injection. So what does that mean? It's a growth hormone releasing hormone injection. And what does it do? It naturally produces more growth hormone for you in your body. So it revs up your pituitary. From the pituitary goes down to the liver, and then it converts into IGF-1. And IGF-1 is what you get all the benefits from. Anti-aging, recovery, all these great things come in that conversion. So tesamorelin does that, right? So it's great for anti-aging. It's great for recovery, healing, all these benefits. The next thing, and this is something that no other drug out there does, especially GHRHs, is it targets adipose tissue, belly fat that surrounds the organs, you know, right in front. That a lot of people, it looks really bad. Well, this is really bad for your health. So at that point, like, you don't want to accumulate a whole bunch of adipose tissue. So this is actually going to start shredding up and targeting that area. And like we said before, like, weight loss usually happens throughout the body. It doesn't target one specific area. So for this to do that is a true game changer. And in the sense of just raising IGF-1 levels, that's a game changer because that's going to do a whole bunch. But to target belly fat too, along with it, that's a killer combination, man. I mean, that's why everybody wants it, because it's the big bad boy in the block with the big stick.
I love it. I did. That's again one of my favorites and go to, and really helped me get in shape this last time when we were out there. I guess it was in April now. Jeez Louise.
Jeez, time flies.
Wow. It was so quick. Let's take some questions before you slip out of here, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it says, how to build connective tissue while being beginner at age of 37, because my body is speaking of pain in thumbs, wrists, elbows, etc. I mean, at this point, I mean, I know Mike, I think I know what you'd say, right? I mean, you go less on the weight, higher in volume, I guess. Try to build up. I mean, because I mean, you got to build up these connective tissues like that. If you go heavy right away, you're going to damage yourself, and it's not going to feel good if you're in pain already. So, I mean, I would start light, go higher in volume, really get a nice feel for the exercise or whatever it is that you're doing, I guess. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think volume can be a couple different things. I think one is just getting into the gym. If you're just starting, you're 37, still 37, my friend, that is so young, so young. So you'll be able to do a lot here. And just training slow, controlled. Don't try to rush through the workouts because, I love that science is finally catching up with stuff that we've talked about for years and years and years. If there's one thing that you want to do in the gym, the one main leader of this is to build strength. Build strength in the body is actually what they are finally kind of coming around to going, this is the most important thing. There's other things that are very important, but the number one thing is building strength so your body is stronger as you age. That's the ultimate goal. So I think this is great that you asked this. Most people just ask, how do I get ripped and how do I build muscle? But connective tissue is that longevity understanding of the body. So get in there, get the volume like he's talking about, and just keep training smart, slow, and steady.
Yep. I think I honestly, I think that's the way to do it for sure. You had one more up there. I can talk about the HCG one if you want, but you did have another question up there. The guy paid $4.99, so got to give priority to that guy in a second. The HCG one. Does HCG help you sleep? And then we'll answer this next one from Joseph. So HCG, I don't know about helping you sleep. HCG is going to stimulate hormones in the body. It mimics LH, so it's a luteinizing hormone in the brain, and it mimics the signal from that to the testicles or ovaries in a woman's case. And what does it really do? So it will raise testosterone levels, free and total testosterone. It will help with some different things as far as that goes. So HCG, when you look for HCG or where HCG comes from. So if you do an HCG qualitative and quantitative, that's how they tell if a woman's pregnant and how far along she is. They run a blood test, right? So HCG. So women that are pregnant have high levels of HCG in their system. And when they produce this, what it usually does is it usually takes all the belly fat from the area and starts supporting the womb area with this. So at that point, it will kind of target. I'm not going to say it's going to target, but it will start hitting that stomach area to really pull from there. That's the good thing about HCG. But HCG, they want to put you on a strict diet of 500 calories. That's the most notorious one out there that's been documented. And I'd never recommend anybody to do 500 calories.
Why would this be?
So this is what the HCG the diet is based on. So the doctor that created the HCG diet created on a 500 calorie diet, and that one has been documented, right? So legally, like in my business, I can only say straight facts. So that would say like Ozempic or tirzepatide, you're going to lose 15 to 20% of your total body weight because that's what the studies say. So with the HCG diet, it's the exact same thing. Legally, you could say you can lose 20 pounds in under a month with HCG because it's been documented and there has been a study. But that's based on 500 calories. For anybody out there, weight loss can happen with a calorie deficit. You don't have to go into an extreme calorie deficit of 500 calories. You know how hard it is to eat 500 calories and that's it? Even if it's clean food, because clean food you got to eat a lot more of. It's tough. So we usually say 1,000 calories if you can stick to that. But usually, I mean, somebody can eat up to 1,500 calories and still lose weight because they're in a calorie deficit. So it really depends on the person and how extreme they really want to go. But what the other thing will help you do is it will help you retain muscle too as well without going to cannibalization type setting. So that's another benefit of it. I've also talked about using this possibly with Ozempic patients, so you can kind of hold on to that muscle without getting rid of it if they don't eat enough calories.
Right.
But, so that's what HCG does. So HCG for sleep is probably not going to help you sleep. Now, if it increases hormones and those different hormones are balanced and you're sleeping better because of that, that could be because of it. But directly, HCG is not going to do it.
Go with the other question. Bam.
Sure. when putting in muscle for 8 weeks, where should the calorie intake be? And also, how does that change when it's time to cut down? Also, cardio. So I guess he said we're putting on muscle for 8 weeks, or I guess that's how he's saying. So where should the calorie intake be? And also, so I guess what you're trying to put on muscle, so you're gonna have to, go into, not a deficit, but you're going to have to increase the calorie count. And the increasing calorie count, you're going to want to do that on a tier process. I mean, I think that's what Mike would say. I mean, I would go up from 2,000 calories to 2,200 calories to 2,400 calories and so on, or maybe a little bit more in a bump, 250 and 250 and 250. But that's what I would do. And then if it's time to cut down, I would change the way I'm eating too. This is just my opinion, and I'm sure Mike is
keep going,
expert on this. So for me, like if I'm trying to gain weight, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a lot of protein in, right? And I'm trying to look at some different foods. So I will mostly look at steak. Steak is probably for me like the best one to gain on, right? It's not the best one to cut up on. You can still cut up on it, not a problem. But I think it's easier to cut up on chicken, for me. So when I go on cuts, if I'm on a bulking stage, it's maybe 2-3 meals of steak and maybe some chicken in there. If it's a cut, then I'm eating 1 meal of steak, maybe in the morning, because it's my fuel for most of the day. And then I'm eating chicken for the last 2 or 3 meals. So that's how I am, I guess. And that's kind of where I go. And then if I go into a cut, I don't try to I cut down on the calories if I'm up like 2,500 or 3,000, wherever it is. And I'll cut down like 250 at a time, like ease it down, get my body, make sure it's like adapting to what's going on. And then kind of go down from there. I might go into an 1,800 or 1,600 calorie deficit because I usually base mine on 2,000. That's what the general nutrition study is. I might be a little bit over that, just the way the metabolism is, but that's kind of what I base mine on. Cardio, I don't do any cardio. Mike loves cardio. I know that because I talk to him all the time. He's always fucking doing cardio. So he's got the stamina and endurance of a 10-year-old kid. Me, I got some stamina and endurance, but I don't know about that. So, I mean, for me, like when I got down here and I really started trying to put a lot of weight on, I was always a runner my whole life. And even in sports, like, whatever. So that was just a part of what I used to do. I used to run a lot. Well, people that have high metabolism and ectomorphs like myself, if you run a lot, it's your body's like use it or lose it type thing. And it adapts to whatever situations or scenarios you're doing. So if you're running a lot, there's not a lot of runners out there. They're, 220 pounds running around jacked. There's not marathon runners. They're usually skinnier people. So, for me, like that's, I had to change and do no cardio because at that point, like I was like, all right, I don't want to burn all these calories doing cardio. I want to have some cardio for cardiovascular health, but I don't want to be running and do a lot of cardio. So I keep it to a minimum if I do cardio. And that's like, sexual training with my wife.
Yeah, I can't count that. 20 seconds of cardio doesn't work for me. Yeah, just taking your body weight in protein, make sure that the fats are moderately low, and then just finish out whatever calorie intake you need to be in a surplus is carbohydrates at that point. And then to reverse out of that is just drop the carbohydrates, keep the proteins where it is. And then you can add in cardio as you're slicing, but I would only do that when you're slicing. I wouldn't use cardio off season. I would. The only thing that throws me here, though, is that you said 8 weeks of trying to put muscle on, and to me, plus the question itself, the question is very unanswerable in a sense because everybody's different when it comes to nutrition.
Right.
So it's not something that you can just cookie cut and say exactly what I said. I give you a good scenario. That would work with a lot of people. But just for anybody out there, if you're saying, hey, for the next 12 weeks, I'm going to put on muscle and then I'm going to cut up, body doesn't function that way. The body needs longer to not just put the muscle on, but to accept it in a sense.
Right.
To keep that muscle on, because if you're just 12 weeks eating and putting on calories and you get stronger and you put some muscle on and then you go 12 weeks of cutting, you're just taking that muscle right back off.
Yeah, you're stripping it for sure.
Now that's if you're bodybuilding, if you want to put muscle on and stuff. If you're just having fun and you want to exercise and do it, then I don't care. You can 1 week put on calories, 1 week take off calories.
Right.
But again, don't purposely try to confuse your body so poorly like this. It's the cardio thing. So we'll just jump on that for a second. If you're doing cardio all year long, you guys already know that it's diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
So you're setting your body up to adapt to something, and now you don't get to use that to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind. It's a great question. Sorry that's just, I recommend for you, Joseph, to get a trainer.
Yeah.
Because this just kind of says to me, because you've asked this question, and it's a great question. And also thank you for the donation to the Pup Fund. You're not understanding how this really works just yet, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with getting a trainer. There's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, you obviously need a teacher to teach you what's right and what's wrong. Find a credible one. But at that point, like, everybody learns from somebody, whether you get it from your mentor or you pay somebody to get it or whatever it is, or you research it and find it yourself. I mean, there's a lot of different tools out there that you can utilize to be able to find out this information too, Joseph. You know, you have everything at your fingertips. I mean, you got AI writing business plans, giving diagnoses for patients. They can definitely write up a workout plan. I've tested it. It's really cool. I mean, you know, I haven't tested it per se. I haven't utilized it, but I punched it in there. I punched in weight. I punched in what my goal was, what I'm trying to do, and how long it should take. And it literally punches out a program for you to a certain extent, like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So it's really, really cool. Like AI is definitely something that I've been diving more into. And, you know, on the flip side of that, I didn't get to talk to you about this, but I opened up an advertising agency with a couple other guys, and we're using AI and some of the different things that we're doing. And man, it's some game changer stuff, man. I'm super excited, because at that point I'm like, I'm going to install this in Titan and start using it here. You know, I mean, it's really cool stuff. So very excited about that. But yeah, you utilize the tools that you have, and you should be able to find these answers, Joseph. No problem.
A little 20 or 30 rep sets on squats. Yes or no?
I mean, I guess if you do them right, you do 20 or 30 reps.
Fun. That's what I used to do with
20, 30 reps of squats. Yeah. Yes or no? I mean, why not?
Yeah. It's always fun to do that 20 or 30 reps. It takes you to another level.
Dude, think about how much more weight you're pushing.
In early.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Compounded weight.
I love it. How to restart the workout routine after 7 and 8 years of complete gap. I was into powerlifting and bodybuilding, but to restart it from initial stage gives more pain. You got to work around the pain, man. At that point, you got to ease yourself back in. It's like anything else. You know, you go back in, you start low, you start working up, you start building, and you start progressing. I mean, that's what I would do. Anytime that I've ever been down from a surgery, it's the exact same thing. Now, I might not have to start from complete zero, like 7 or 8 years, because that's a lot of time to give off. But at that point, like it's just a bump in the road, right? Just go over the bump. At that point, you know, you got to get in there and you got to start somewhere, and you don't have to start and be the most, you know, you don't have to do everything in the gym, you know, that day. But at that point, start and get 30 minutes in, start, you know, getting 45, and start getting the hour in and start really training, you know, whatever you're doing, whether it's one body part or 2 body parts, you know, like myself.
Yeah, that's compounded too. So you're thinking that you've taken 7 or 8 years off, but you're also 7 or 8 years older.
Right.
So now things have changed even there too. Just saying, anybody's out there, somebody said the other day, hey, is it okay to take a month off? It's okay to not lift. I don't care.
Right.
But understand the point that you're saying. You're as young as you're ever going to be right this second.
Yeah.
You're only getting older. There's no finish line. This isn't a test kind of thing where you get to finally get somewhere and go, okay, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. You're 8 years older. That means you're also 8 years off. Start slow. I thank you for asking, but it really just you getting in there. Maybe just start, because you've already been there, with the 3 basic lifts, and just do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those 3 lifts.
Yeah.
Nothing on there. Moving and grooving, stretching.
Yeah, I think, that's key. I mean, just getting in there and start doing some things, right? Start getting the blood flowing, start getting back into a routine, and then just progressing. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, I told Peter the other day, I'm like, listen, man, I'm like, it doesn't matter, like, you know, like because he's like, oh, I want to get bigger, I want to take testosterone. I'm like, dude, no, you don't. I'm like, even if you took testosterone or you took any of these other drugs that are out there, you still have to put in the work. You have to get in here. You have to lift. You have to eat. Your body's just not going to grow like that or just adapt. It has to be put through the test, and at that point, work.
He's going to be such a monster when
he is, dude.
He's still getting taller.
I was so happy to see him the other day. Like, we've worked out, a couple times and stuff like this summer, but it was maximum effort the other day. And I was like, oh, I like this. Like, I could see this going, where you want it to go. So I think he's starting to come around where, he's got to do it. I mean, it's just not going to do it itself. So you got to get in there and do it, and that's one thing. Get your kids active early, guys, if you guys have kids.
So I love that this guy asked this question here because I do the L-carnitine, but I haven't. And I have it at my fingertips, and I haven't done the injectable L-carnitine.
Yep.
And this is one that I am definitely doing. And it's, again, everybody that's doing the Titan Total Recall, this would be a great one for you guys. Again, another fat burner, another one that's great amino acid that will help you crush it. Talk to us about, because you can get injectable L-carnitine from Titan Medical.
Sure. So yes, L-carnitine injections are awesome. Any negative side effects? No. I mean, might have a little redness in the area of the injection or something like that, but there's going to be no health side effects whatsoever. So you're not going to drop dead. It's not going to put you in kidney failure or anything like that. It's an amino acid. It's something that your body needs. Let's get that right there. But at 500 milligrams per injection, right? That's a hefty dose, because you get L-carnitine in Hercules, you get it in Titan Complete, you get it in Nectar, but it's at a lower level. You're talking about probably like 60 milligrams that are in there. And then when we talk about L-carnitine by itself, it's 500 milligrams per ml. So it's quite a jump, but you get a lot of great benefits from L-carnitine. So like we talked about, muscle building, nervous system, opening up receptors. So if you are on testosterone, helping them with those receptors is going to be a night and day difference for you.
Just
so at that point, just that alone, right?
Receptors.
Yeah, I mean, with all the other benefits, that you're getting out of it, I mean, it's definitely a win. I mean, you see it all around. There's a lot of research on L-carnitine too, as well. So, you can look at that, but there's tons. So at that point, like it's a really good amino acid injectable to utilize. And if you want the heavy doses of 500 milligrams, as some people do, this is definitely the way to go for sure.
Yeah, it's been around for decades. And something, again, we were very heavy into in the 80s. Everybody was doing L-carnitine. And I see a lot of people like we have the world champion that comes out every year, and he comes out for a couple of weeks before he competes at the world championships. But man, he's got his bottles of L-carnitine, before his cardio sessions twice a day, taking it in. This is the world champion, the current world champion. So it's, again, I'm going to go with the injectable though, and get that on the list, on the Christmas gift list.
For sure.
Thanks for that question. We got to let Johnny go, man. I'm sorry for holding you up, brother. You good?
It's all right. I'm all right.
Are you okay?
Of course.
Jeffrey, you got another one for this, man? But L-carnitine, great call. I'm glad he asked that.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure.
And this is me. I've seen this stuff. Mona, order it. L-carnitine injectable. Get on that.
So the other one, okay. So this is a good one. Do you have any information about inflammation near cheekbone area? So no, I mean, cheekbone area. I mean, if you have inflammation in cheekbone area, there might be some TMJ.
Paid. Johnny, I think rent's getting paid.
Rent's getting paid.
Yeah, that's why there's information there. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So I don't know, man. Like if TB 500, BPC 157, I would do full inflammation or some glutathione. I mean, I don't know, and I wouldn't inject in the cheek, but that's just me. Sorry, I thought I'd have a little bit better for that. There's another good question up here, though.
But before you go, I think I don't know if you retain water easily. I don't know if that's something, and you just notice it in the face, because easily I could go from looking like I could do a photo shoot or a model with 2 days of high day. I look like I am off season getting ready for the biggest powerlifting meet in the world.
Gotcha.
So, and I retain, it goes and it comes first in my face. Yeah. So it could be just you just retain
it's
water.
True. It's true. If you drank the night before, I mean, there's a lot of different things that can cause that for sure. 100%.
Yeah, like you said, obviously rent getting paid is one of those things that could cause it. And, I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. Guys, thanks for hanging out today. Johnny, thank you. I think if we can, I would like to do another live later this week.
Sure.
We can open up your schedule a bit for like on Friday.
Okay. Let me know what time.
I will, my friend. And congratulations too on the new advertising company.
Thank you. Yeah. Flying Goat Agency is official. So yeah, I'm going to show you some of this cool stuff because there's definitely some things I think you can take advantage to in the background too. So super excited about it. Super excited.
Nice job, Johnny.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you guys. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out, guys, today. If you guys got questions or anything like that, remember we're over doing check-ins in the Titan crew. So if you guys want to get in there and make sure that you put down your check-ins so we can kind of go over where you guys are with your nutrition and everything. Also, let me know how Deadpool 2 is or 3. I understand it is incredible.